Being a graphic designer in this day and age is one of the most humiliating and degrading things that you can pursue. The rise of AI and the current job market, as well as university degrees just being less valuable than they were 20 years ago, are just absolutely killing the chances of finding a stable role in design. These are just my opinions, but I'm sure many people will agree on what I have to say. So just to paint you like a lovely picture, I graduated from university in 2020 with a degree in computer science, and then I went on to do my master's in 2023, where I pursued game design. And although these aren't graphic design related degrees by any means, my focus within both degrees was on UI UX design, so much of the theory and skills that I learned can be transferred to many areas of design. For example, I use Figma a lot during my studies, which is a vector graphic-based software. This means I can easily pick up Adobe Illustrator and use many of its features as it's got the same foundation as Figma. After I graduated from my master's in 2023, I had a connection with a friend and I was easily able to land a role as a UI UX designer. And I worked for this friend for like about a year before I got made redundant, which kind of sucked, but I understand why he needed to do it. So before I was made redundant from that job, I was tasked with rebranding the entire company's identity and building an entire new website from scratch. As the sole designer, might I add. So I had like complete creative control over this project, and I'm like really happy with how it turned out. This is kind of the point where I fell in love with like designing brands and visual identities, because I felt like it had more creative freedom over being a UI UX designer. Many UI UX designers will tell you that there's a lot of rules and guidelines when it comes to designing interfaces, which I thought was just limiting my creativity a bit, and that's why I decided to pursue branding and visual identities. So after my redundancy, I set a goal that I would spend 6 months creating content online to try and attract clients and showcase all of my work. Spoiler alert, this didn't go very well. And because it didn't go very well, I then went on to find full-time work after 6 months. After 6 months of trying to go self-employed, I applied for any and all graphic design roles, UI, UX related roles that I could find. I looked pretty much everywhere. Like I'm talking LinkedIn, Indeed, Google Jobs, company websites, recruiters, etc. You named it, I tried it. And when I mean like I looked everywhere, like I looked everywhere. Like everywhere. So like since July of 2025, I've applied for like over 400 roles, and literally only 2 of them have progressed to the next stage. Like 2, literally 2, like it's crazy. And those 2 roles, I didn't even progress to an interview. It was to a design stage where I had to do design work for the company. And we all know that they probably went on to steal it anyway, so And you might be sitting there thinking, oh, Nathan, your CV's probably bad, or your portfolio's probably really weak. Let me tell you, I have done everything to format my CV specifically to the roles that I am applying for. I make a new CV for every single role that I apply for, and I take keywords from the job descriptions and sprinkle them into my CV to appease whatever ATS checker that the company has running in the background. And on top of that, I quantify every single achievement in my CV, so that it highlights all the impacts that I've made in all my previous roles. So I know, like, I know that my CV is absolutely immaculate, and I've been told this by other professionals as well. So, like, if it's not my CV, then it must be my portfolio, right? But then again, I'd say no. Like, I'd really say no. I have a custom website for my portfolio, which I know gives me an edge against people who just use Behance or Dribble. It's not that I'm trying to gloat and say that these platforms are bad. I'm simply using it to highlight the fact that even though I'm doing everything that I've been told to do, I'm still like having no success at all when finding jobs. And it's not like I have hundreds of projects in my portfolio. I've got 3 to 4 focused pieces of work. So I know that the content in my portfolio is not the problem. Aside from my portfolio and my CV, I've also been using all the tricks that everyone tells you to use when you're applying for jobs. For example, when I apply on LinkedIn and Indeed, I make sure to filter the jobs that have been posted in the last couple of days and the ones that have the minimum amount of applicants. That way, like I know that I'm at the top of the hiring manager's pile when they go to look at their inbox. And I've even gone the extra mile and sent speculative emails and chased hiring managers outside of a job application. So like when I say I've tried everything, like I mean I have tried everything. So I pose this question to all of the hiring managers out there. What is the problem? I can't keep going on getting rejection after rejection from potential employers and getting absolutely no feedback. yet alone getting ghosted entirely, which is what 99% of employers do anyway. I honestly feel like I'm a clown just doing this for the entertainment of potential employers, but it's not funny at all. In fact, it's absolutely humiliating and embarrassing, especially when all the companies are starting to implement AI. Ugh. So before I start this part of the video, I just want to preface and say that I despise the use of generative AI for absolutely anything, which is obviously like a given based on my background. Some AI I am kind of okay with though, like the remove background tool in Photoshop. I think this is an excellent use of AI because it's used to save time in a creative process rather than delivering a finished product. And if you're sitting there at home and you're saying, oh, AI is the only way us non-creative people can create things, I would say creativity is a muscle and you need to practice it. So get off your lazy arse and start putting in some effort. Stop wasting water and electricity with your shitty ChatGPT prompts to create AI brain rot images and start putting in some actual hard work. Now this brings me on to the use of generative AI. Some of you may remember last year's Coca-Cola Christmas advert. Now I bring this up because that advert was created entirely using generative AI. They used over 70,000 prompts to create that advert, and it still looks like AI slop. Like you just can't make it up, you can't make it up, it's crazy. And I'll link it down below so you can watch it and see for yourself. But my point here is that this advert could have easily created, say, about 100 jobs, give or take. Probably even more, to be honest, let's be real. But instead, big corporate greed just had to take over and take away creative roles just to save a little bit of money. And this is from Coca-Cola, mind you, as well, which is the shocking bit, who are, of course, like arguably the biggest beverage company in the world. And like, they don't have to save money at all. It's a billion-dollar corporation. Like, come on. Shame on you, Coca-Cola. Shame. And because big companies like Coca-Cola can get away with this, smaller companies are seeing it and thinking, oh yeah, we'll have a bit of that. And so they start using generative AI to replace their designers and artists as well, often with results that look completely uncanny or unprofessional. Like AI is not to that point yet where it can create perfect images. It just can't. It's so easy to tell. We can tell when you use AI to generate an image. I don't know why you think we can't, but it's so easy to spot the telltale signs. And it just leaves you and your company looking unprofessional and incompetent. The other month, I actually saw a poster for a K-pop event in my local area, which was clearly AI generated. So much so that the AI had actually just made up names for non-existent K-pop groups. It was actually so pathetic. If I can find it, I'll put it on screen somewhere. So when I saw this poster, I was sat here thinking, do your marketing team not look at the poster before you send it out? And like, are you not clued in on the industry that you're trying to promote, that you just put in random K-pop group names that don't even exist? Oh, like, come on, the way this was handled was just absolutely abysmal. And because you didn't want to pay anyone to make a beautiful poster for you, you've actually just made yourself look totally stupid. The fact that you thought it was okay to publish that is absolutely baffling. We're doomed. We're actually so doomed. It's unreal. So with all the companies using generative AI now, that means the job pool for design-related roles has notably diminished because companies would rather look absolutely incompetent than pay someone to do a brilliant job. At this point, I'm just utterly exhausted trying to find permanent work. I'll keep pushing with all the energy I have, but how can any designer or artist be motivated and excited to job hunt when there's all of these impossible hurdles to overcome? Even when you're supposedly doing everything right and you're being reaffirmed that this is the case by everyone around you? With the rise of AI, it just feels like a practical joke and a slap in the face when you see companies use AI to create images that do less than the bare minimum when you know you could have done a 10 times, heck, even 100 times better job. From a very young age, me and many other people were told to go to university and all of these doors would just open. But I'm looking around and I'm like, where are these magical doors that are supposed to open? Like, all of my doors are still shut. I even went on to do my master's degree to stand out from the competition because undergraduate degrees are a dime a dozen now, and yet I'm still fighting to be seen by employers, as I'm sure many of you are too. Many of the older generations say that Gen Z are lazy and that they don't want to work. I desperately want to find work. I have studied religiously to get to where I am today, yet no employers want to know. So what am I supposed to do now? Give up on my 5 years of study and all of my qualifications to pursue a different career? Or even worse, go back to entry-level retail? I don't really think it's unreasonable for me to say no to that. Reluctantly, I will have to keep looking for work, but I am going to start posting content again because this is the only way that I feel that I can start making something of myself. With that, guys, there will be more graphic design content on here in the future, and I am serious about it, so if I do disappear, please do hold me accountable. I just wanted to use this video to get across my frustrations and how I've been feeling, and if this helps anyone, then that is a great bonus. Guys, I'd love to hear about your job hunting experiences down below, so please do leave them, even if it's not design related. Hopefully we'll be able to help each other out and find some solutions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.